He grabbed me.
Remember that song we used to sing in our tents off Snake River? All I really want to do is get away.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 thriller River Wild. The film is co-written and directed by Ben Katay, and it stars Adam Brody, Courtney Chen, Eve Connolly and Matt Devere. Right, the film focuses on two siblings. Okay, there's an older brother and a younger sister. The younger sister is in a bit of a transitional period with her relationship. She goes to visit her brother, who essentially is like a guide for like the river rapids sort of thing. He takes people out on tourist boat trips down the rapids sort of thing. His best friend, childhood friend, is played by Adam Brody, Trevor, who has just got out of prison, is on parole, and he's trying to start his life again, working with his childhood friend again on this river, on these boat trips. They take some customers out on the boat trip, the little sister joins them, they have some fun on the river, and then the first night of camping, one of the tourists falls and hurts herself quite seriously, but also makes a claim that Trevor, the one who's on probation, who's just been in jail, actually attacked her. So they don't really know what to believe. All they do know is that they need to get her medical attention and get it quickly. However, one of them in the group turns out to be very sinister indeed, and the whole trip then turns out for a fight for survival. Right. What are my thoughts on River Wild? Well, if you're thinking, you know, the title and much of the description of this film is very similar to the 1994 film starring Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon, I think, The River Wild. Yes, there are similarities for sure. In actual fact, my understanding is that this is actually, the screenplay was based on the 1994 screenplay of the film we just talked about, the Meryl Streep film. However, there are some stark differences here as well. The major similarities is, yes, it's down the river rapids, if you like. Yes, it becomes like a fight for survival and like a huge adventure film on the river. But the other aspects of the film are quite different in many ways. So there are similarities, but they are also different films as well, even though they share very similar titles. Now, while I think there are elements of this film that could be better, for sure, I think there are also elements of this film that are actually quite entertaining. The best part of this film, by far, are like the scenes on the river. They're very, very well filmed. It really gets the message across that, you know, when they're on the boat trying to fight their way through the difficult parts of the river, it's very, very dangerous. And also there are scenes of them in the water at dangerous parts of the river, and you absolutely get the message that, again, their lives are in absolute danger. It's filmed very well, and it conveys that message across to the audience member, and those are the best parts of the film by far. It's a little bit of a slow burn of a film, but it also feels quite grounded too. You know what I mean? We don't get like a huge pantomime villain. We actually get a fairly layered and complex villain, and I'm not gonna spoil like who the villain is. It's not, you know, it's not a huge surprise or anything. It's not like a great twist in the film or anything. I just, you know, I don't want you to have the film spoiled. But the reasonings behind the villain are obviously flawed, but you could understand why this person would make these decisions in these moments. It's almost like the villain of the piece makes a bad decision, and then he just keeps escalating these decisions, going up and up and up, so that it is more in his own mind. He has no other option as what he's doing. So I thought it was quite interesting how they portrayed the villain in this piece, sort of thing. It's not as black and white as that's the bad guy, even though he clearly is, or this person clearly is. It's, you know, you can understand the decisions that this person make, even though you don't agree with them. I thought there are times, you know, where the film kind of becomes like, you know, a fight for survival, in a sense of fighting the elements, and I always think that sometimes can work really, really well in films. And this film, while I think it doesn't focus on it too much, it almost feels like the beginning of this, you know, of them needing to get medical attention for this person, and the end of the film, it feels like it comes far too quickly almost, and you're not exactly sure how much time has passed, and I think, you know, the film possibly could have done a good job of focusing a little bit more on fighting the elements to stay alive, other than the river. There's a moment in this film where the captors get away from the bad guy, and I think at that point I thought it would have made sense to focus on that section of the film, you know, the battle in the elements and the fight to stay to survive in the odds of, like, you know, no food, no water, so on and so forth. But it didn't. It kind of kept laser focused on the characters, which, you know, it doesn't necessarily hinder the film. It just, I think, didn't pick up an opportunity, I think, to focus on other areas that I think the film could have done. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, are there any huge fans of The River Wild from the 1990s? I remember that being, you know, it made pardon the pun, it made a few waves at the time. It was fairly well received and did okay at the box office, but this is like its odd little cousin, I suppose. It's one of those films that goes into the category of, did it need to be made? Does it stand out? Is it memorable? No, it doesn't stand out. No, it's not particularly memorable, but it's well made. There are some good action scenes on the waters. The performances are absolutely fine by everybody involved, and it will certainly hold your attention throughout. It's not one of those films when it's finished you'll think you've wasted your time, but it's also not one of those films that when it's finished you're going to be going and talking to your friends about at work tomorrow saying, I saw this brilliant film last night. So it kind of sits a little bit in the middle, but I think it is slightly better than average in my opinion. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.